And one of my aunts, I'll never forget this, but she lived with us, and she always made me pray with her,
Mm.
like every day.
Mm.
And I'll never forget that because I felt like that helped to build my faith at a young age.
Uh,
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now, we know how the world can be cruel. Did you face any stigma or societal judgment as a young mother?
Absolutely.
Tell us
And
about
some
that.
of it came from family.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it may not have been as bad as maybe I perceived it, but I think for me, maybe it was embarrassment,
Mm.
shame on the family.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was feeling more of that maybe than others probably were actually feeling
Yeah.
because I felt like, oh, am I disappointing them? You know? So I had that.
Did your mom ever make you feel that way?
I don't think she ever made me feel that
I
way.
wouldn't think
But
so.
that's why I said I think it was me.
Right.
Like feeling this is an embarrassment. This is shame. Like, you know?
Did you ever think at the time that you found out you were pregnant that, oh my gosh, my life, now what am I going to do?
I don't know that I actually felt like that. I think at that time in my life, I was just kind of going through the motions,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was just going through the motions
Yeah.
because at that point, I knew I still had to survive,
Right.
regardless.
Well, you're 15 years old.
Yeah, I
You
felt
know.
like I had to survive.
Right.
And I know through faith and prayer
Absolutely.
that I made it through.
Yes.
And one of my aunts, I'll never forget this, but she lived with us, and she always made me pray with her,
Mm.
like every day.
Mm.
And I'll never forget that because I felt like that helped to build my faith at a young age.
Absolutely.
Like it's so vivid, like her. Like I can see it, picture it. Like even though I was younger, and a lot of times when you're having trauma, you forget certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But that I would never forget because I felt like that's kind of what helped to get me through
Right.
some of the struggles.
Right.
Learning how to pray
Exactly.
and having faith.
Do you remember
So
what you prayed for?
I don't remember what I prayed for. I just remember like she always made me pray with her.
Did you? And I say that because my last guest talked about him and his grandmother used to get into a tussle, and she was like, "You need to pray to get your sight back." And he said, "I used to get on my grandmother. I'm praying for that, and it's not happening." And then he said, then he changed his prayer, and he's changed his prayer to not to get his eyesight back, but be able to have the strength and the courage to deal with it. And then life changed. And that to me, that was so profound. I was like, wow.
Right.
Sometimes
Right.
we have to think about, we're praying,
Right.
but are we praying for the right thing?
Right.
You
Right.
know.
But
So
no, I actually don't know what we prayed for. I just remember that she always made me pray.
yeah,
And so that person was like that glue for me because I stuck to her.
yeah,
And so even as I got older, if I had any issues and I was too embarrassed to tell anybody else, I always went to her
you can go to her. Yeah,
first.
because you knew one, she wasn't going to judge you,
Absolutely.
and if nothing else, she was going to be like, okay, let's pray about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's
Yes.
pray about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I actually recently told her about that. And she was like, really?
Oh, see,
You know?
I'm glad you told her that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know how special that was for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even when I see your face light up about how she lit up about it, that I'm glad you told her that's special. And that's something she'll never forget.
Right. Right.
And we have to pass that on. It's hard to get some of these young kids to say, just pray about it. And they look at you like, what do you mean just pray about it? I said, okay.
Right.
Trust. And I have evolved in my prayers, praying with this. I'm like, God, this is you. You tell me what I should be saying. You just
Absolutely.
let it go through. And I like that. I really like that.
Yeah.
What happened next?
Well, what happened next was I decided that life goes on And I needed to fight through some of my struggles.
Yeah.
And I did. I mean, I graduated from high school. I could remember having my baby, strolling them in the wintertime to the babysitter, coming back, getting on my school bus.
Stop there a second. Those of you that live in Arizona, only grew up in Arizona or California, you have no idea what
No
that
idea.
struggle is.
No idea.
Dealing with those winters up
No
north.
idea. No idea at all.
Yeah.
No idea.
So strolling through.
Strolling through snow. But then I would walk back home, get on my school bus, and go to school. I don't know where all that strength came from, but I feel like it goes back to those prayers and
Absolutely.
those dreams.
Yes.
Of just dreaming and just having that motivation and determination that I'm going to make it.
Yes.
And then also in my mind, I feel like, and I know this isn't true today, but I feel like I felt I disappointed everybody. And I wanted to make it right.
That became your purpose.
Yes.
And I think we all do that. We may not realize it.
Right.
But when there's a setback,
Right.
in our comeback, we
Right.
turn that in. If we're going to be successful, we turn it
Right.
into our comeback. Kind of in a way, I'm gonna show you that I'm gonna get through this. I'm not what some of the chitter chat may be, that now she's just gonna
Absolutely.
be this and that.
And I had that said about me.
Yeah?
Actually, yes. And so for me, I felt like that determination came from, I felt like I disappointed my mother. Mm-hmm. But then also I felt like you said, I'm going to show you.
Exactly.
I'm going to show you. So it was a little bit of all of that.
Yeah.
That gave me that motivation and determination that, I'm going to make it.
Turning that into your purpose is
My
powerful.
purpose, yeah.
That is,
Yeah.
when people do that, I'm not saying that we don't say woe is me, because I'm sure
Right. that
that was a part of your transition. That, man, what did I do? Why did this happen? How am I going to survive? Then you picked yourself up and said, this is my purpose. And I can relate to that on numerous times.
But the struggle didn't end there, though, because even though I graduated from high school, it was just like something just kept pulling at me. You know what I mean? Like trying to keep me back. Mm-hmm. And so, even when I was going to college, I know you talked about me graduating from SUNY Geneseo with a bachelor's in education and psychology. But before that, I actually graduated from Monroe Community College with an associate's in human resources and human services. And that was a struggle because I started school, and I was one of those students that was pretty smart. I really didn't have to
I would
study.
say so.
I just kind of went in,
Went
did
through
what
the
I needed
motions.
to do, went through the motions. And I felt like, I could do that when I'm trying to get a degree.
Yeah.
It didn't work, right? So I was getting D's. And I don't think it was because, let me back up. I don't think it because I didn't know the information to succeed or to pass. I think at that time it was life and trying to make it.
Manage
and the
all that.
struggles and, hanging out with people that weren't good for me.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't succeeding. And then one day I said, this has to stop.
Right.
I had all kind of jobs. I've done every job anybody probably want to do. Mm-hmm. And I got to the point where I said, you need to pull yourself together. Stop all the hanging out. Everybody's not good for you. And I think a lot of those prayers coming back.
It all comes back.
Right. Yeah. And finally, I did. I pulled myself together. I graduated from Monroe Community College, which is an associate's degree, and then I kept going. And it just kept building from there. But I had to understand who I was and where I wanted to go.
So let's talk about that. You changed your circle of influence, people that were involved in your life.
Yes.
How difficult was that? Because we're talking 17, 18, 19 years old?
Probably about 19, 20. It was very difficult because I had not a lot of friends, but, a good number of friends.
Right.
Family, because my family was my friends too.
Yeah.
We grew up as sisters and brothers. Right. Like, they were my family too. And I did have a lot of people try to discourage me and tell me that I'm acting funny because I'm not hanging out, I'm not drinking, I'm not doing all this stuff, I'm acting funny. And I just got to the point where it was like, okay, you're not meaning good for me because
Right.
I'm trying to do something good, but now I'm being told that I'm acting funny.
Yeah.
And I said, it's just going to have to be what it is.
How'd that make you feel to hear from family members say, you different? What you
And
think
that's what it is.
you better than us now?
Right. I mean, at that point, I didn't care.
Okay.
It's a hurting feeling because it puts you in a lonely space.
Right.
Because now I'm alone.
Yeah.
Right. But you just have to do what you have to do to make it and to survive. And you have
Yes.
to have the will to do it, the courage to do it, and say, okay, I'm not being funny, but this is where my life, where I want to go.
Which is very difficult because family can be tough. Tough to deal with. Tough to, because I love you.
Right.
You're my family.
Right.
But I have to love you from a distance because
Right.
you're it's kind of tough to say, but you're not good for me.
Right.
You're not good for where I need to be at.
Right. And I still love you.
Yeah, I love
and
you.
I'm going to keep loving you.
And wish the best for you.
Right. But this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
But I think later on, they started appreciating it.
Yes. That's where I was
At
getting
the
ready to go.
time, it was like, oh, she's being funny.
Yeah.
But then when they just started seeing the growth, it was like, wow.
Yeah. And you probably, unless some have told you, you're probably not even aware of how you inspired some of them to say, okay, she's doing it. And she's doing it with an additional struggle. Let me do it.
And I've had some family members to do that.
Yeah.
To start school. And,
that's great.
yeah.
That's good. That's really good then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Support system. In Rochester, what kind of support system did you have outside of the family? Was it community? Was it church?
Actually, really none. Really none.
It's sad. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where we're going. I know where we're going is my purpose for today.
Yes.
Because really none.
Yeah. And we would hope, oh, well, that's changed.
It really hasn't.
It hasn't.
It has
Not as much as it should have progressed into that.
Right.
So family and friends and your aunt that you said it was, that was your support system. And your dreams.
My dreams.
Dreaming.
My dreams. I will always be trying to think of some way. I'm going to make it.
Right.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it. And I can remember that I would take exams. Like back then in Rochester, you could just take civil exams, right? And get jobs, right? And so during one of those years of struggles, I remember taking this exam. And I failed it. Which for me, like, why are you failing this exam?
Yeah.
Right? But I probably was hanging out. Who knows what I was doing, right? I failed the exam. So I ended up getting a letter that the job that it was for, they wanted to interview me.
Even after you failed the test?
Yes. And I was like,
prayers.
Hold on. I'm going to get an interview for this? Okay. So I went to the interview. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do this, going through the motions. What else am I going to do, right?
Right.
Do you know the lady hired me? And when I got the job, she said, I never forget her, Rachel Molinari. She said, I don't even know why I hired you. Because you wasn't even my choice. She told me that after I got the job.
Wow.
And it was a blessing to have that job because it was a part-time job.
Yeah.
I worked from 2 to 6 every day. I was a clerk at the dispatch office for the Rochester City School District. And during that time, I was still able to go to school full time. So literally, I would drive all the way to SUNY Geneseo in the winter. Now, you know how that is. Driving all the way through Lima, all down. Like, it was bad.
Yeah.
I went to school full time. I would drive there every day. I would come home. I would do that job. It was from 2 to 6. And I had health insurance.
What?
The pay
As
was
part-time?
good. Part-time.
Wow.
The pay was good. And I said, that was nothing but God. That was
Nothing
a blessing.
but. That's right. Those
So God
prayers.
has favored me, for years. And so when I finished that job, I took a teaching job.
I want before we move there, I got to go
Okay.
back to that.
Yes.
This lady hired you.
Yes.
What told you weren't her first choice?
I wasn't a choice at all.
How'd that make you feel?
I felt like, wow, I just felt like God was doing something.
Yeah.
Because again, I understand the power of prayer because
Yes.
I started at a younger age.
Raised that way. Yeah.
Right. And so I felt like that was faith, that was God, like just pat me on the back, like
I got you.
you know, you've been struggling, I got you, you know, this is where we're going. Because I know what your future is.
And where was the job at?
Rochester City School District.
School district. And
Yes.
we'll talk about. I think that might have been the start of. I don't know what when you were going to school. What were you going to school for?
I was going for. That's where I got the dual degree.
Okay.
It was psychology and education.
Okay.
So in my mind, I felt like I wanted to be a certified counselor.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I went or a psychologist, and that's why I went that route. But during the time with the struggles, I said, well, you know what? I could go get me a teaching job. Not knowing why. That really wasn't my first choice. But once I did that, it just started my life.
I was going to say, when did things turn for you? Now,
that's when they turned.
Because we all still have struggles, and we still all have obstacles to overcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
that's
that job,
it turned.
It turned?
That's when it turned. And had it not been for this lady giving me that job, securing things for me, so I had the opportunity and advantage to go and do that.
Right.
I don't even know where I would be today.
I have a feeling you would have been successful.
I probably would have been, but I don't know.
But you're right. But
it would have been a whole nother. I don't know.
Another avenue, exactly. Yeah.
But that was the path. And when she told me, I don't know why I gave you this job. You weren't even my choice, and I failed the test.
It was yours. it was God's divine intervention to make sure that was going to be your job, and that was the start of your career. Tell me this: when did you meet my cousin?
Well, I met your cousin. I was a secretary, a part-time secretary at Jordan Health Center.
Okay.
And so that was in 1988. 1987?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. But it was around that time.
Okay.
You know.
So all this kind of just fell in place.
Everything was just kind of like falling in place.
Here's your job. Here's your husband.
Right. It was kind of like all within that time, you know.
He tells me the story of how you chased him.
No, I didn't like him. He chased me, actually.
He didn't say that.
Me down.
I'm kidding, Reggie.
Yeah, I'm kidding too. But then things just started taking off, you know.
Yeah.
That was a turn. That was a turn.
That's excellent, and it all comes back to those prayers that you put that work in prior to getting there. Wow,
when you're out in the world and people see you as, oh, she's going to clubs, oh, she's doing this or she's doing that, they still just don't know like what's in the back, what's behind all of that.
What's your foundation?
They don't know that, oh, you pray at night. They don't know, like, you know, they just don't know. So that's why you can't judge people. Because you really don't know where they are.
That's right. That's right.
Don't.
And it's funny you say that. Now, when I was in Rochester, growing up, and again, I say we would go back and forth, and Boyer and Reggie, you know, there was no clubs for us. There was basement parties.
The house parties, I was in those too.
I remember those.
Those were the best.
Down in the basement, can't see, slow dancing.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Those, let me get off of that.
That was some good times. I was there too.
So, obviously, I mean, what motivated you to get your degree in education?
Well, I think at the time, like I was saying earlier, I felt like I wanted to go into like psychology or either counseling. But when they offered, see, this is the thing, because you never know what God has for you in your future, because they offered a dual program. It was a lot of hard work, but they offered, it was like 2 degrees in one.
Right.
And one of them was education. Not knowing that was the road that I was going to go down. That wasn't my first choice, but that was God's role.
Right. And he kind of planted both for you, because I'm sure in education, that psychology degree came in and as it comes into play now.
Right.
Definitely. Right. So being a young mother, did that help shape your experience or your path in education?
I don't know as much as how that helps, you know, because I think once I started really working in the field, you know, that kind of showed me a lot about motherhood, how children are, and things like
Sure.
that. Before that, I didn't know that.
Right. Yeah, you were
So I
15
wasn't
again.
perfect. Like, I didn't
Exactly.
know. I mean, it takes a long time to really understand. You know, even like to this day, when I look at mothers like that I've seen as being an educator, when I look back, it's a lot of things that maybe I could have done differently. But when you're in that field and you see things, it helps you to understand it
Right.
better, you know? And so, and that's why I've never was like really judgmental. Like a lot of things that a lot of students that I've worked with, you know, how the mothers weren't supportive, or it's no judgment because they probably didn't know.
There's no book. Well, there may be books, but
There are
still.
books, but it's experience.
Right. Exactly.
It's experience.
That's the best learning we can have. Is
Yeah,
through
and that's
experience.
why I always make it a practice. I don't judge.
Right.
I don't care who it is, what it is. I don't judge. You know, when I see the homeless people in downtown Atlanta,
You don't know their journey.
you know, because sidebar, because I don't know if I told you or not, but Reggie and I, for the last 3 years, we do homeless bags.
No.
Like, we just take our own resources and we do homeless bags and we give them out in downtown Atlanta.
Really?
Yes.
That's excellent.
Yes, and we fill them up with hats, gloves, scarves, socks, toiletries. Like,
What started this?
it was just a burning desire to do it. And I think in the first year that we did it, we did like 15 bags, right? We were so happy about it.
Yeah.
You know, like 15 bags, we get it out in downtown Atlanta. And then it was like, wow. And then the second year, we did 30, right? And then this past December, we did 50.
Wow. Just you two.
Just us
Well,
two.
from you guys started.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was just a burning desire. And I said all that to say, I've heard people, a lot of times they be like, oh, these people, why are you doing this, whatever. But for me, it does not matter.
Right.
I don't have it does not matter why they're there.
That's right. I'm not
It's just
judging
not.
them. That's right. That's
There's
still
no judgment.
God's
They
children.
need help.
That's right.
It's not, you know, like I'll see people, I mean, I'll be driving somewhere, whatever. I'll just give them money. I just, you know, just whatever. And people like, you shouldn't do that or whatever. No, like if it's in my spirit and my heart
That's all that matters.
to do it, you know, I just do it. And so I don't care why. I don't care.
Hey, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to part 2 of this thrilling 3-part series featuring Dr. Patricia Chapman. Now, in her heartfelt episode, Trish shared her inspiring journey of overcoming those struggles of being a young mother and dealing with societal judgment. And she also talks about finding her strength through her faith and through prayer. She also shares with us that growing up with the support of a prayerful aunt and how changing the circle of influence and being persistent with self-belief, well, you can turn those setbacks into your powerful motivators. Now, you don't want to miss episode 3, because in episode 3, Dr. Trish will dive into the trials of her educational journey, her transition from learning to starting her own consulting business that empowers communities, and how crucial prayer and planning are key factors in her life. And she was also led to write 3 books, and she'll talk about those. And at the same time, continue to giving back to the community. So prepare to be uplifted by her valuable advice for young parents, educators, and pretty much for anybody that's facing their own struggles. So grab your headphones, settle in, join us as we explore Dr. Trish's transformational journey. And check this out. If you love the episode 1 and 2, you're going to love episode 3. And give me a thumbs up and leave those comments below. But again, if you have any questions for Trish, drop them in the comments section. We can't wait to hear from you, and we can't wait to respond. But until then, I need you to make sure that you are staying focused and continue to ignite your future.
Do my thing, don't drink.
Hey.